I want to talk about two metrics from the Stack Overflow 2024 survey. I got them pulled up here that um, I should say it's crazy that the first survey came out in 2011 and it's 2014. And it's, I feel like I've definitely looked at it differently since starting programming professionally, quote unquote. I always say professionally because I think saying professionally is a bit of a meme because like some people start when they're like in middle school make apps, but like you only count the experience that you're working somewhere. Like I don't know, man. Years experience I think is kind of a meme, a little bit to be honest with you. But we can talk about that sometime else. The one I want to talk about today is the satisfied at current job metric, and this one got 29,126 responses. And the satisfied at current job, not happy at work is 32.1%. Complacent at work is 47.7%. And happy at work is 20.2%. So it's like, what are we doing here, everybody? 32.1%. According to the 2024 Stack Overflow survey, you go look it up. 32.1 reported or said on the survey that they're not happy at work. Now, we'll never know what that means or to what extent that means. Are they not happy with the technology? Are they not happy with having, the office? Are they not happy with remote? The commute, whatever it is. We'll never really know that beyond just what this says. But I think we can still talk about it, and I think it fits the theme of this channel. And I think if we talk any more about these kind of things, I think I'm really wedging myself into becoming like the software developer with the most existential crisis on the internet. But that's okay because I like talking about these topics. They're fun to talk about because it helps me process a little bit. Maybe that's what this whole thing is for. But satisfied at current job, 32.1% say they're not happy at work. And I think that's kind of alarming. I think it's alarming for a number of reasons. As we see the current trend of software development jobs becoming more remote. And I should say, as we bring that up, the other metric around where you work, remote, I think was 38%. The next largest was hybrid. And then in office, at least for this survey, was 20%. So, feel bad for the 20% people. But, 20% still have to go in the office full time. Hybrid makes up the biggest category of those people. And remote is 38%. I would love to know, this is just me wanting to know, I would love to know of the 38% who work remotely, which of those people reported that they're not happy at work? I would love to know that. That would be really cool. I don't know if there's a way on this survey to connect those two. That would be really neat. But I think it's concerning, though, going back to being not happy at work. It's concerning for a number of reasons. One reason is how long you can drag that out. You can be not happy at work for years and just not do anything about it. And as we all get older, it's like time is going like this. It's like when we're young, time is like, just cruising on by at a good speed. But now it's like as we get older and we gather more responsibilities and, just being an adult catches up with us and everything that goes along with it. It's like time is on this, this exponential curve of increasing speed, and it's just like you blink and then 2 years have gone by. It's absolutely crazy, and I worry a little bit that if you're not happy at work, how long does that last before you make the jump to become happy? And I worry about that for myself because I saw at my first job, or I should say, actually, I'm going to go back. I should say at my first internship, I saw people who were just miserable. I mean, absolutely miserable. I mean, they would sit like, just slouch forward all day, just like not saying hi to anybody, just completely just glazed over by life. And they've been there for, you know, they've been there for years. It's like, what in the world? That was my first clue into reality a little bit, and stuff like this just kind of freaks me out because I saw it at my second internship too. People just you get and it's like you get into this spot where it's like you just check out, and it doesn't matter if you're happy at work or not happy at work. You just are at work, and you can do that for years, but not really be happy. And I know that it's kind of like, it's a little bit idealistic, like to say that you're going to be always happy at work. And I completely understand that. But I worry a little bit, uh, how long should you not be happy for? Should it be 1 year? Should it be 5 years, 15, 25? It's like people work for 25 years at like the same place. And when they leave, they get a gift card. It's like, oh boy, I really do worry about it because um, I, I need to like I need to think about this because so if we're saying 32.1% are not happy, do we just change and go somewhere else? Do we like what's the deal here? What's the fix? And how long do you let that go before it before you just stop caring? I would say for me, my last place I was working, it was clear to me that all the signs were kind of there that it was ready. I was ready to move on to my next place. There was just signs, I think internally to yourself. And people come and go. Like I was working there, and people were hired on after me, and then had since left, and then new people come on, new leadership comes in, changes things, and you see all those things happen, and then you see people come in, make changes, and then they leave in a year, and then you see someone else come and make changes. And I think for me, as I got to close to year 5, I was like, okay, I think it's time. I really think it's time. I wanted to make it 5 years, but I think I was ready. I think if I had taken this survey, I think I would have put for myself I wasn't happy at that place of work. Um, I think if I take the survey now, I would say that I'm happy at work. But I think being happy at work is definitely not the default. You have to at least, I shouldn't say, I should say me. It seems like I have to make it continue. I have to be active in making it good for myself, or I have to be active in, you know, allowing me to still be happy at work. And I think part of that is just not being, complacent. I think because, the default, at least my default state of being is not to, you know, take on a ton of unnecessary responsibility at work. And sometimes you can get away with that, and sometimes it seems like it's necessary to pick up a lot more responsibility in order to make in order for myself to feel happier, just because, at first it's scary. It's like, oh, I don't really know what I'm doing. And I still don't really know what I'm doing. But over time, you kind of figure it out. And it's been an interesting experience because I think that if you've ever worked in an environment where it's very micromanagement heavy, you know that it just kind of like well, one, it ruins the whole experience, and it doesn't allow people to learn at all. And it doesn't allow people to really grow and figure out what they want to do professionally. And I think everybody's going to face that. And that for me was the telltale sign of I gotta look for somewhere else to work. Um, you know if you're in that, it's pretty obvious. Um, But I think going into a new place where it's not micromanagement heavy at all, I think I've learned more in the past 6 months than I have over years. Just because when you have that, when I have that more responsibility, it forces me to learn and ask questions and just honestly experiment and try things. Because let's face it, a lot of the time, I don't know what I'm doing, right? Like, you can't know everything. You can't know all the intricacies of some random language or, some framework that you just learned like a few months ago. You'll know enough to use it and program in it, but you just have to try. And for me, it seems like just trying is the best way for me to answer being happy at work. But it's challenging. It's very challenging, and I wish that it could always be like that. And my fear is that the same thing will happen. I hope it doesn't. Meaning, I hope that I don't over time answer that I'm not happy at work. But that's my fear. It's always in the back of my mind, and I think that I try to seek out activities like running, like just to clear my head, just to get myself in the right frame of mind to process and think. And that's one of the things I think about is what changes would have to happen for me to not be happy at work? And can I do anything to avoid those changes from happening? And what do I need to do to make sure that other people are also happy at work who are immediately working with me, right? Because it's not just you or me; it's everybody. We all want to have a good experience where we're working, but it's extraordinary. It's extremely challenging to make everybody happy, and I don't know, stuff like this just kind of freaks me out because you just never know. And I worry that we're masking a lot of problems. Um, I think we've been sold kind of this idealistic view of software development the past 15, 20 years of agile software development. It's just a load of nonsense. I mean, it's utter nonsense. I mean, you can say whatever you want. You can read whatever book you want to read, but I don't. It just unless you try to. That stuff. There's more fluff around those methodologies than I've ever read in my life. I mean, it's one thing to talk about concepts in abstract terms. We're programmers. We work with abstract, you know, interfaces, classes, whatever it is. We try to abstract, logic out of it. We know what that is, right? And stuff like agile, I feel like I can sit down and read a summary or an in-depth write-up of what agile is and not tell you what I just read. And like not that's how I feel about it. And it's just odd, because there's so many different versions. Everybody has their own way of doing it. It's like, well, what are we doing here? Like, just that's in our topic for our video. I would love to get into my thoughts and other people's thoughts on agile software development. It's pretty interesting. I mean, I don't know, but anyway, these metrics kind of freak me out. I don't know if they freak you out at all, or if you're in a place where you're not happy at work. Hopefully you are. But yeah, I don't know, but I'll leave it at that. I'll see you on the next one.